Well, good Monday, everybody. It's 7:43 the time right now as we look at, that's the KCTV5 tower. We're going to light this bad boy up on Thursday at 9 o'clock. It's been a long time since it's been lit. One of the tallest freestanding structures in the world right there in Kansas City. How about that? And big feature of the KC skyline for so long, and now in just a few days it's going to come right on back and we're going to light that thing up. So it's exciting. Anyway, we've got changes in our weather, some needed changes. We've had a lot of heat here lately, hot and dry. We've had, of the past 4 days, 3 of them have brought record highs in the 90s. The hottest day of the summer was last Friday. We hit 97. The humidity's not been bad, but it's been awfully hot. And we are dry. I mean, we need rain in a bad way. When will rain arrive in the Northland and Kansas City? Katie got a good shot tomorrow. So I've got Facebook questions and comments. You can talk to me there if you'd like. I try to answer your questions. Whenever I get going with the forecast, I won't be able to see the comments, but I'll check them again at the end. So anyway, we've got a decent shot for rain over the next 3 days. 3 days in a row, each of which have pretty high rain chances. It's not going to rain that whole time, and not everybody's going to get rain all 3 days. But in our neighborhood, we're going to have waves and rounds of rain, and it's good. It's needed stuff. So, all right, let's show you what we've got, and then at the end, I'll answer your questions. Good evening, Dakota and everybody. All right, so here we go. So this is the reason why we're calling for rain, is we've got this slow-moving, just dawdling storm system that is what we call a cutoff low. Now, 2 things with these. One is they are slow, so they're pinched. It's a pinched off low pressure system in the middle part of the atmosphere, and they bring extended bouts of unsettled weather. The other thing is our computer forecasts do not do a good job with these things because there's nothing behind them pushing, so they just kind of meander around until finally they get scooped up by the jet stream. So that makes the longer range a little bit more fuzzy than typical because we don't know exactly when this thing's going to get out of here. We've got an idea, and I've got my best hunch, but just know that these are inherently a little bit more unpredictable than normal just because they're just kind of meandering out there all by themselves. So anyway, point is that's going to be in the neighborhood, and it also comes with some thunderstorm fuel. Now, we've got enough to see thunderstorms. We don't have a ton, though. You don't see big, bright reds and stuff, so if you get a ton of thunderstorm fuel, then you could talk about severe weather. We don't have enough for much of a severe threat, so I don't see big problems. If you're scared about severe weather, big bad thunderstorms, there's enough we could have a strong 1 or 2, but I don't see widespread issues here. Just not enough fuel there. But what we do see is fairly widespread rain, and at times it could be on the hefty side. So that's exactly what we're looking for. We would love to have an extended, prolonged stretch of steady rainfall. And this isn't perfect, but it does bring, instead of rain all at one time, it's going to be stretched out over a few days. So here's the forecast, essentially. Tomorrow, one more hot day, 90 degrees. Rain chance is quite a lot higher today than if you were watching even yesterday's forecast. Some new information came in, and it looks like we're underway. So first one for Tuesday. We'll do it again Wednesday. Wednesday looks a little bit more patchy to me, but still a decent rain chance. Temperatures are coming down into the mid-80s, and then we're in the 70s by Thursday. That's just because of clouds and rain. We don't really get a big front that's going to knock us back into fall. But temperatures will get away from this record heat. It'll feel nicer. And I think Thursday is the rainiest day, just in general. So the bottom line is, again, this is going to come in rounds, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But it's not going to rain constantly. In fact, there will be a lot of dry hours between the showers. You will, especially Tuesday and Wednesday, more of the day will be dry than wet. But the chances are there for whenever the rain comes in. It's fairly widespread, pretty good shot. It's just going to be kind of condensed in the time frame, in the window, and we need it. We're down 5 inches since the start of August. Excuse me. In fact, have you noticed the leaves on the fall colors with the leaves way early this year? I mean, we don't usually start seeing the yellows and the oranges this early, but because it's been so hot and so dry, it's stressing the trees, and the first thing the trees are going to do is they're going to stop growing, and they're going to stop feeding the leaves, and then the photosynthesis and the chlorophyll, all that process begins, that change as we go into the fall season. It's just doing it really early because the trees are shutting down because they're stressed. So if you have trees on your property and you want to take care of them, just water around them, that would help them out. But in general, a lot of trees are stressed. Okay, so how much rain could we get? Is this going to get us out of the hole that we're in, the 5-inch hole? No, but it could be a fair amount of rain for some of us, 1 inch or 2. That's on the higher end. That's north of Kansas City and on the north side of Kansas City. It looks to be a little bit lighter to the south, 1/4 inch to 1 inch generally. So around Kansas City, 1 inch, give or take, over the next 3 days seems to be a pretty decent bet. So here's Tuesday, and it looks somewhat scattered, and it will be. You are not guaranteed to see rain Tuesday, but odds are decent. So the morning looks good. Up till lunch, dry, no problems there. But watch the afternoon. See how this is flaring up on us now? We're going to have storms around tomorrow afternoon. Now, again, if this you see how it's a north and south line, that has been pushed west in more recent computer forecasts, kind of right on top of Kansas City. So there may be additional movements kind of here and there, but just you get the picture. Spotty thunderstorms afternoon and evening. After 3 o'clock, it's possible. I think the best chance is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's Tuesday. Here's Wednesday. And Wednesday still, it doesn't look, you don't see as many yellows. This would be more, I think, just general regular rainfall rather than thunderstorms. And 4 to 9 is more the time frame there. So the morning looks dry on Wednesday. It's scattered. I think that's, of the 3 days, probably the least rainy day from what I can tell right now. But evening rain. And then Thursday is the rainiest day because we could have a couple rounds here. One in the morning, really could rain any point in the day, but the main focus seems to be morning and then again in the evening. And that's where we have that heavy yellow stripe coming in. So we may end up getting the bulk of our rain totals on Thursday. All right, so there's our camera. Can't see anything through that. Temperatures mid-80s still, even with the sun having gone down. It was warm today. 66 tomorrow morning, so it's a nice morning. Again, morning drive into work, no trouble. Everything looks just fine at the bus stop. 70s, 6, 7, 8. And then by 10, we're in the 80s. We're going to hang in the 80s through about 2 o'clock, and then we're going to jump into about 90 degrees. So 90 is a hot day tomorrow. There's our first warn. Starting at 3, chances will go up. 5, 6, 7, 8 is going to be your best shot. High temperatures here. Again, everybody's about 90, so it's about 10 degrees hotter than normal. We're still right on the hot side. I'll show it to you another way. There's your chances for Tuesday, just so you can get a picture of that. And then Wednesday, 86. Thursday, let's look at Thursday. You can see that morning round, and that brings some pretty good rain Thursday morning. Then the signal kind of drops a little bit, then picks back up late day, like 7, 8, 9. So that's our lighting ceremony, the KCTV lighting ceremony for the tower. It's going to be 9 p.m. Thursday. Then we get past that. Friday is the start of the Plaza Art Fair. That seems like it always comes with trouble, either with hot temperatures or big rain. We're not out of the woods on Friday, but Friday looks quite a lot drier than the days before. So I actually think Friday is going to be okay. And temperatures in the upper 70s. And let me get you the full forecast. And into the weekend. So I think we're going to have a few showers around Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They just look much more isolated and not nearly as impactful. We've got a KC Current game on Saturday. I think that's going to be a nice game. And then Sunday, the official start to fall, a week from today, is on Monday. That's the autumnal equinox. So we'll start that out at 83, just slightly above normal. And the rain chances still kind of on the low side. So spotty, but light. The main show appears to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right. So let's see if we've got any questions here. Grass is dry. Dante, yes. Need rain. I've been running we don't have a sprinkler system. We've got, we just took the sprinkler, threw the sprinkler out. Trying to get some, I just got a house, just bought a house not long ago, and I had the foundation checked, and I had a structural engineer come out. And he said the best thing you can do for your house is keep your lawn green. Keep it watered, because with our expansive clay soil that we have in this area, the dry and then bunches of rain and it gets wet and then dry, all that expansion and contraction is really hard on your foundation. You get cracks and all kinds of trouble. So he goes, have green grass and a good foundation sprinkler system. Just make sure you keep everything nice and wet. So I thought that was interesting. Will it rain on Saturday? Danica, it may. I think Saturday, it's a low chance though. Saturday looks pretty dry to me, generally. No day is completely without a rain chance. It just doesn't look that high right now. Yep, Terry, I hear that. And are we going to have beautiful fall colors? You know, I think what we have this year is, if you want super vibrant colors, then you want dry and cool, from my understanding. I'm not a tree expert or anything, but just having looked into this over the years, like cool weather and dry weather tends to make them actually like pop. Because we've been hot and dry, it seems like we may have a longer season, because like the maples are the first that are changing their colors. Some of the other trees are a little bit more resistant to the dry conditions and the heat stress. So we may end up, kind of having a positive that way, but it might dull the vibrancy, and they may not be as, poppy as they normally are. I don't know, is what I should say, is I don't know for sure. But that's just generally from what I've researched and from what I've looked at, what we may expect. When is the last day of 90 degrees in Kansas City? On average, I think it's into October, like October 11. We can have 90s up to something like that late. The average last 90-degree day is early September. I'd have to verify all that too. Okay, everybody, that's the updates that I've got for you. So we're down to the hour by hour and when you can expect it. All the high resolution forecast radar that will update all the time. It updates every hour actually. So I'll have a new one for you coming up at 10. You can catch us at KCTV if you want to know more detail on tomorrow, and we'll be tracking all this rain. And we really hope that we get it. It does look like good odds that you will at times over the next 3 days catch some rain. So that's some good news there. You got 12 acres just of trees, woods on our, yeah, and it's not looking pretty. Yep, I hear you, Terry. Well, hopefully this helps you out and everybody else and gets our lawns a little drink because we're parched. We'll see you at 10 o'clock. Hope this was helpful. Take care. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time.